Hey everyone, and welcome back to Consoles Only. Before we get properly into the video, I just want to say a couple of quick things. First of all my videos up till this point have been, scripted, and I went back and looked at a few of them, listened to them all the way through and things like that, and I didn't really like how they were sounding. It made me sound a bit too robotic and stuff, so I'm going to try doing videos from here on out without scripts, and we'll just see how it goes, basically. Secondly, if you look at my subs and my views at the moment, you can tell that I don't really have a lot of an audience right now and a lot going on, but for the people that have taken the time to just, even if it was just a couple of you taking the time to look at my stuff, I do appreciate it, and thanks for doing it, because I'm trying to grow the channel, I'm trying to get somewhere, I'm trying to do this. I mean, obviously I do it for fun and I do it because I enjoy it, but it'd be really nice to get more of an audience, to get things going. It's just really fun to see people, watching the content. So thanks for everyone that's done that. And, if you want to help grow the channel, you can subscribe, you can like the videos, you can comment on the videos, any and all that stuff is great. Also, if you look in the description, I have a link to my Instagram. So if you want to go down there and follow that, you can do that as well. So right, let's move on to the games then. Okay, so first I think we should get this one out of the way. This one is Dynasty Warriors 9 for the PS4. Now, I originally played this when it first came out about, 2 years ago? And at the time I dropped it because frankly it was close to unplayable, and I just really hated everything about it when it came out. Most people are obviously familiar with the Warriors style of games, hack and slash action games with light strategy and some RPG mechanics, or at least that's what it used to be. Because now, it's an open world and it just doesn't work in this format, in my opinion. I think it could work, but it needs to be created with far more care and attention than this one was. This feels like the company was too late to the genre of, open world, and they just kind of threw everything at it and it just didn't work. Now, I came back to it because of the PlayStation Hits version being released, which is far cheaper than it was originally. I remember paying, full price for it when it first came out. And I'd heard that there was a lot of, updates and patches and things. And I'm actually playing, the stuff you're watching right now actually is on a PS5, not even on a PS4. Unfortunately, as you can see, it still looks bad, it still plays bad, and it basically is bad. And you can see screen tearing, you can see really awful janky animations. Combat really isn't fun anymore. It's gone away from that old system of pressing square, 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 and then a triangle to finish off a combo. And it just isn't fun anymore. But I wanted to try it again, and now that I have, it's still awful. I just really hope they go back to what made Dynasty Warriors fun. This one I would honestly miss, but if you're looking to have it as part of your collection, get the PlayStation Hits version because it's much cheaper. That's my advice. Next up is Army of Two for the PS3. Back in the day, I actually played this on the Xbox 360 in, I think, 2008 when it first arrived. I enjoyed it a lot back then, actually. It was a pretty fun game. It's a third-person shooter with some basic partner AI mechanics and a pretty interesting aggro system which ties into the partner AI. You can tell them to hold position and draw the fire, and then you can sneak round. Once they've got all the aggro, you can sneak round the enemy and attack them from behind. There's tons of weapons to unlock, attachments, skins to buy with the cash that you get from doing missions. And something that I found really cool about this, especially for being as old as it is, a lot of the weapons, in fact all of the weapons, have different stats and the attachments that you put on them actually change their statistics so that you can do more damage or have better accuracy, or even things like causing more aggro. I mean, I guess it doesn't look particularly nice these days, but I guess it's fine for what it is. Back in the day it looked quite nice, but looking at it, from 2021, it kind of doesn't look great, but I think it's worth playing. Also, I would just like to say the shooting might look a bit off to you because I could not hit the broadside of a barn playing this. It might be because of the way I'm recording it. I have to do it a certain way to bypass the PlayStation 3's built-in copy protection thing. You can't record using an Elgato like I normally do, so I've had to use this sort of cheap recording device that goes straight into my PC, and I think there's some definite delay because it felt like really weird to play, and I don't remember it feeling that way back in the day. So Maybe it just hasn't aged well, or maybe it's the capture software. I don't know, I'll have to test that. The game does actually have 2 sequels as well, The 40th Day and Devil's Cartel. The third one I've not actually played, so I'm looking forward to picking that up. And again, they're all pretty cheap, so pick them up and give them a try. This is Heavenly Sword, which is also on the PS3. This came out in 2007, I believe, and was actually a launch title for the PS3 system, as well as an exclusive. It's a hack and slash action adventure game with some really nice visuals and a pretty interesting story. The main villain is mocapped by Andy Serkis as well, although he is actually voiced by somebody else. I think this game tried to sort of show off what the PS3 can actually do when it came out, and it really wasn't a bad game at all. It made use of the 6-axis motion feature to control arrows when they were in flight, but I'm actually using a DualShock 4 on my PS3, which doesn't support that. Luckily though, you can just go into the options and turn that feature off, which is helpful. I mean, it isn't an incredible game, but it is decent and it's really cheap and easy to find, so I think it's worth having in the PS3 collection, especially because it was a launch title. It's pretty fun for what it is, so, you know, if you see it while you're out and about, pick it up, why not? Fourth in the list, we have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, which is again on the PS3. Most people, I think, remember the Harry Potter games for being action-adventure games with light platforming and puzzle solving, as well as some of that collectathon stuff going on, you know, like Banjo-Kazooie or Spyro the Dragon. Due to the way the story went in the books and in the movies, I think they decided that they would make this, and Part 2 in fact, into third-person cover-based shooters, and it works well enough, but as you can probably tell from the gameplay, I'm having that issue with the delay again. I'm finding it quite hard to aim with the way that I have to record at the moment, but I think when you play it normally, I think it's fine. The game has some on-rails sections, as you can see from some of the footage, as well as some stealth sections, which work fine. They're nothing to write home about, but they're perfectly serviceable. Although I think these are usually considered the worst of the Harry Potter games, but I personally don't mind them too much. They're pretty short, they're easy to get through, and they look decent enough, and it has most, if not all, of the real-life actors providing the voices, so that's a cool thing. Even if you aren't really into Harry Potter, I think it's still worth having this and all the other games in the collection, because I've noticed a lot of them are starting to become hard to find, at least here in the UK, and the prices are going up and up and up and up, so, you know, I would grab them while you can. Next, I have a couple of games that I don't have footage for, because I don't currently have a way to record them, but I picked them up and I wanted to share them with you anyway, so here they are. The first one is Mad World for the Nintendo Wii. It's an action-adventure game which has surprisingly good motion-controlled combat. It's got a really great look to it as well. The way that the bright red blood just paints the black and white backgrounds, it's almost artistic, honestly, if it wasn't so horrifying. I mean, it's gory, it's just so fun to play, and probably my favorite game on the Wii of all time, and yeah, that includes all of the Nintendo first-party stuff as well. I think I would rather play this over any other Wii game that was ever made. I literally think this is brilliant, and as I said, it's my favorite, and it should be in all collections in my opinion. It's really easy to find, barely costs any money to buy. Yeah, it's just a must-own game in my book. Lastly, I wanted to show you Orcs and Elves for the Nintendo DS. It's a first-person dungeon crawler that uses the grid system, you know, where enemies only make a move when you do, sort of like mystery dungeon games but in first person. So if you stand still, nothing moves and you can plan your next move accordingly. It's adapted from a mobile game, I believe, but plays really well, and being an old DS game, it has no microtransactions. So, you know, if you're a fan of this type of game, I would definitely recommend it to you. There aren't many games of this nature on the DS either, the original DS at least, but this one is honestly great and just deserves a play. It's also easily found and really cheap to pick up, so if you see it, pick it up. So that's some of the stuff I picked up at the start of February. I have quite a few more games on the way and some others that I haven't shown you yet, so look out for those soon. Let me know what you think of any of the games I've mentioned, maybe leave a like, feel free to subscribe if you want to, check the description for all the important stuff, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.